Good evening, everyone. There is a banner of Steve Cooper which has been erected away to our right-hand side. Just below that, a huge banner which reads, "Leader of the Garibaldi." Well, negotiating your way through a forest has never been easier. No compass, no orienteering skills have been required, because Steve Cooper's side have lost their last 5 Premier League games, letting in 18 goals in that run. It's been a tricky time for the tricky trees, but backed by a heaving crowd tonight, and with the immediate pressure on Steve Cooper alleviated thanks to a new contract, tonight could be a redemptive night, a Kickstarter possibly. But determined to play their part as the villains of the piece, Steven Gerrard's visitors from the nearby West Midlands are also searching for something to get their season started. Their direction of travel is by no means certain. Unbeaten in 3 after a wobbly start, Aston Villa are yet to win away in the Premier League this season, and after tonight all of their remaining games between now and the World Cup are against teams in the top half of the table. Tonight could determine where both sides are heading. Here are the two teams, starting with Nottingham Forest. They've got Dean Henderson in goal. It's a back 4 of Cook, Kouyate and McKenna. Aurier and Toffolo are the wing backs. Freuler and Yates in midfield. Gibbs White and Johnson will support Dennis in attack. It's 5 changes for Nottingham Forest from the defeat against Leicester City. For Aston Villa, Emi Martinez is their goalkeeper. It's a back 4 of Cash, Konza, Mings and Young. Ramsey, Douglas, Luiz and McGinn are the 3 in midfield, with Buendia and Coutinho supporting Watkins in attack. The stats aren't good when those two start together. The noise is terrific. The scarves, the flags are above the heads of the Nottingham Forest supporters. The Mull of Kintyre rings around the famous old City ground. A song adopted by Nottingham Forest after a midwinter break at the end of the 70s in Spain. Players went off with Brian Clough, sat in a bar. Mull of Kintyre was number 1. The players were all singing it, so the fans decided to adopt it as their tune, and it has been an anthem ever since. Nottingham Forest wearing red with white shorts and red socks, attacking the goal away to our right in the first half, and it's all light blue for the away side, Aston Villa, who will be attacking the goal away to our left tonight. Anthony Taylor is the referee, and on the first blast of his whistle, then the players will take the knee as the Premier League promotes its No Room for Racism campaign. Tonight it's East versus West. Tomorrow it's Northern Europe clashing on TalkSport 2. Manchester City in action in Denmark. And then the live football runs right the way through until Sunday on TalkSport. We are here, we are there, we are everywhere. Alongside me in the commentary box for Forest against Villa, it's Danny Murphy. And Danny, who's better equipped to take this game by the horns?
Well, it's hard to say because they've both been struggling for confidence. You think with Villa's experience and a bit better quality, they should have enough, but Forest have got everything to fight for. It's a big game for them tonight. Looks like they've settled with 4 at the back like they did last week. It's a bit of a surprise.
Here is Buendia over on the far side, plays it out towards Matty Cash, who's back in the team for Aston Villa, who are just occupying space inside the Nottingham Forest half of the field at the moment. It's gone back towards halfway, picked up by Konza and then by Cash into midfield. Koyate's got a whack early in the game and he's just starting to hobble around inside that midfield. You might be right about the 4 at the back with Aurier, Cook, McKenna and Toffolo as the current back 4. We'll keep an eye on that as the boys switch towards the left-hand side as Aston Villa look at it. It's with Ashley Young into Jacob Ramsey. The youngster turns it back out towards Philippe Coutinho, whose production has been pretty low in terms of goal and assist output since a brilliant start to his Aston Villa career. They have the ball, Buendia curving it out towards this near side. Ashley Young then delivers a cross which is poor. He hit it on the run and it bobbled up in front of him as he elevated it into the box. It goes behind and away for the first goal kick of the game. 90 seconds gone. You're listening to Talk Sport. Jared Gillett is the VAR, by the way. Anthony Taylor, who has dismissed 3 players in his last 4 games, hasn't officiated Nottingham Forest since 2004. Long time ago. In Nottingham Forest's last game against Leicester, Steve Cooper's side were outrun, out-sprinted more than anyone in any game this season. Leicester recorded 47 more sprints than Forest, the most the Premier League side has been out-sprinted in any game this season. If that happens again, Danny, they will be in trouble.
Yeah, it's the basics, isn't it? The fundamentals, work as hard as your opposition and then see who's got the better quality. Similar tactics tonight. 3 in midfield for Forest. Freuler sitting with Kouyaté and Yates ahead of him.
Good ball by Yates out towards the far side. It's tapped forward to Morgan Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White then checks, turns and takes on Buendia, and then comes infield, plays it into central midfield. It's stabbed forward by Freuler, and it's broken down, and very quickly they look to release Watkins through the middle of the park, and Buendia tried to nudge the ball on. He was fouled as he did so. A free kick is given just short of the centre circle. 2.5 minutes played, still goalless.
Yeah, just from a technical point of view, because the systems are the same, the 2 spare men should be theoretically Douglas Luiz and Freuler. How each one stops that one getting on the ball, we'll have to wait and see. But it's interesting that Forest have played this way after last week.
Yeah, last week was a bit of a aberration really from Nottingham Forest. They changed to a 4 for the first time since the Liverpool game. Didn't work at all. And now they've given away a corner. The cross from the left came in from Ramsey, took a flick off Aurier. Is the first corner of the game to Aston Villa, the away side, who are yet to win away from home all season. Nottingham Forest, who had major problems in defence. They've faced 56 shots on target, the 3rd most ever faced over the first 8 games of a Premier League season. And every previous side who has faced that many shots from their opening 8 Premier League matches has been relegated. First corner in towards the near post, towards the edge of the area. It's picked up by McGinn, who strikes it, takes a couple of deflections, falls for Watkins. He's tackled by Cook. It goes out, but there was an offside flag up anyway, so a free kick is going to be given. I thought initially that was a well-worked free kick to the edge of the area to John McGinn, but Kouyaté got out very quickly. He's still hobbling, by the way.
It was a poor effort from McGinn because it was brilliantly worked. The space was vacated by Forest on the edge of the box. The pullback was fine, and he just mishit it. Switching off from Forest early in the game there, they could have been done. That's poor. Got away with one.
Fortunately for Forest, tonight they face an attack that struggled through the early weeks of the season themselves. Just 2 clubs have scored fewer goals than Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa this season, and they rank among the bottom clubs for most attacking stats, shots XG, shot conversion per game.
Well, I think that's one of the frustrations of the supporters, isn't it? I think that's definitely key to the criticism he's faced early in the season, is because sometimes if you lose games and you're on the front foot and you've been unlucky and made chances, you get away with it a little bit more. They haven't been particularly creative.
Cook down the line for Nottingham Forest. 0-0 the score in the City Ground on game night on Talk Sport. Up towards Emmanuel Dennis, who didn't hold on to the ball, but he's got a lot of running about him. He closes down Emi Martinez as he kicks clear towards halfway. Headed into the air by Freuler. Drops for Kouyaté. He runs out of the centre circle and then just sort of helps it onto the far side. No one there to chase it. There's an injury which Aston Villa are going to have to deal with. They don't want too many more of those. They've had enough already this season. And it is a winded Buendia who is getting a bit of attention from his teammates and Anthony Taylor, the referee. 5 minutes gone. It's been a hustle and bustle start. Not the most amount of quality, but you wouldn't expect that from 2 teams in the bottom 5 of the Premier League and fighting to try and kickstart their season, find a spark to get them into life.
He took a little elbow by accident in the ribs there. Not nice, those ones. Don't think there was anything nasty about it in terms of intent, but be a bit sore.
Once scored for Norwich against Nottingham Forest, Emi Buendia, the Argentine. He and Coutinho have started together only twice in 22 Premier League games before tonight.
Was the other one Everton away?
I think it was, yeah. But they've lost the last 4 when they've started together. So maybe it wasn't Everton away, so they drew that game. Ball is out over on the far side to be thrown in halfway inside the Aston Villa half. by Toffolo. It's defended well by Villa to the halfway line, picked up by Koyate, and then sent on to Morgan Gibbs-White, who's trying to nudge it out to the far side. Dennis looks to travel down the touchline. Cash puts it out. It's away for a throw to Nottingham Forest, level with the edge of the Villa penalty area. Back to Freuler it goes, and then all the way to the halfway line, where they'll look to recycle it through McKenna and then Cook. 0-0, 7 gone. Game night on TalkSport. Every time there's a match on a Monday night in the Premier League, it's live, it's exclusive, it's only on TalkSport. Tomorrow, Manchester City away in Copenhagen is at 5:45 on TalkSport 2. More live commentaries from European football throughout the course of the week as well. Wigan Blackburn is in the Championship on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night, and AC Milan against Chelsea from the San Siro with Jim and Stuart Pearce tomorrow night on TalkSport. Ball goes all the way through the middle of the Villa half and back to Emi Buendia. A little bit more enterprising from Nottingham Forest over on that far side, and it'd be interesting to see how much Gibbs-White can offer to try and supply Emmanuel Dennis, who himself has scored once in 18 appearances. There's a little 1-2 on the far side, the right, and Cash has profited from that. His cross into the box is too heavy though, looking for Watkins. It sails through the box.
Great play from Cash.
The corner flag.
It's great play, Sam. He's nice and positive. A little 1-2, and Gibbs-White has got to be switched on for that, because he went past him way too easily there, and a better cross and they could have been in trouble. But that's what Cash loves doing, making whoever's marking him has to do his defending. He has to run back with him, otherwise it's going to be a problem for Forest down that side.
First appearance since the beginning of September for Matty Cash, who's had an injury, and that obviously does affect Aston Villa because he's such a productive outlet on that right hand side. McGinn has it centre field for Aston Villa in the Nottingham Forest half. It's worked wide to the left touchline, and Ashley Young, who's high up inside Forest territory, he guides it back to Tyrone Mings, and then he and Konza exchange passes before looking up, and Mings nudges it into the path of Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho hugging the touchline near side, guides it back to Tyrone Mings. Forest trying to keep a very solid line 10 yards in front of their 18-yard box. They switch to play Aston Villa to the right and Cash, and then it goes infield to McGinn. McGinn back to Mings. 9 minutes gone in the first half. Mings strides forward again. It's on to Coutinho. The ball back into the centre circle, and it's collected by Konza round the corner, and now it's collected once again by Tyrone Mings.
The shape, Sam, of Nottingham Forest is deep. It's cautious for a reason because of Monday, I understand it, but it's too deep. It's early in the game, you're making it too easy for the Villa players to become confident and get touches on the ball. I'm really surprised. I think at home, here we go,
they played it down the right, Cash into Buendia, who's crossed into the box, steered away by McKenna, comes back to Buendia, edge of the area, wanted a foul. Koyate was the closest to him. Anthony Taylor allowed play on. Cash has come back and won a header. There's a foot race between Dennis and Konza to get to the ball first on halfway. Konza wins that, guides it back to his goalkeeper, and they build again. But as you say, it's two banks of four, isn't it, really? Almost two bank, well, a bank of four and a five.
Yeah, 4-5-1 when they're defending. And as I say, I understand it, but I think at home against a side that's also struggling with the fans behind you, maybe tonight was the night to think, let's try and be on the front foot a little bit more and get these fans behind us, a bit like Leicester did to Forest last week.
Is it probably because of the fact they've had such an issue in defence and conceded so many goals, 18 in the last 5?
That's exactly why, and it's always finding a balance. But I just think in certain moments you've got to understand the opposition and the relevance and the importance of your supporters. You know, Leicester took a risk going after Forest last week. They had to, and it worked for them. And I just thought tonight would have been a great opportunity. You don't have to be cavalier, but you can still have a press and keep your shape. But this is a really obvious drop off, protect your half, stay in the game tactic.
Well, no pressing, is there?
No.
Aston Villa are allowed to have the ball up to the halfway line. Slid forward by Mings, looking for Watkins, won by Cook. Yates forward now to Johnson. Johnson fires it through. It's a good ball into the feet of Dennis, who then turns and tries to run past Ramsey, who nabs the ball. Douglas Luiz takes over. They wanted to foul Nottingham Forest for that challenge, but it was never really coming. It was a little bit soft, and then Douglas Luiz pings the ball forward out towards the near touchline, looking for Coutinho, away by Aurier, collected by Johnson again, couldn't clear it with any real vigour, and the ball bounced from Buendia, and Buendia, lovely little tricky feet to try and go beyond 3 Forest players. He's eventually brought down, and the free kick is given about 7 yards outside the box, just left of centre.
Good feet, wasn't it, from Buendia? trying to find a little pocket of space. Going to be hard to find space in those areas with 3 in midfield on each side. But he's really good at that. Manipulating the ball in tight situations. Free kick in a dangerous area, probably just a bit far out to shoot. Left hand side, 35.
You're not going to rule out Douglas Luiz, are you? After he's already scored from a corner.
I think if anyone scores from there, the keeper's got to be to blame.
You blamed the keeper last week as well.
Well, yeah, and I was right. He is very capable, isn't he? Coutinho looks like he fancies it.
It is. Let's work this out. I think this is what, 6,
35,
18, 24.
No, 30.
Just under 30 yards from goal. 29 yards from goal. This is left of centre to be taken by Douglas Luiz. No, Coutinho, right footed straight into the wall. Doesn't matter how far it is if you hit it straight into the wall.
Well, it wasn't straight in the wall. It caught one of the heads. It was a really good wall because it jumped as well. It's exactly how you defend a free kick from any distance. You jump together and you stay big. Really good wall, that.
Certainly Nottingham Forest are a big side. McKenna and Cook and Yates all standing in that wall and protecting Dean Henderson's goal away to our left-hand side. Cleared upfield by Emi Martinez. It goes straight out of play on this near side after a Forest head glances it out in the right full-back position, Serge Aurier. And there is just a little question over, I think, McKenna, who got that ball in the face, and they just halt the play momentarily as then the ball breaks down the left, and Coutinho into the box, hits an arm, it's cleared away, seems to roll up onto the arm of the defender Freuler, but now it's picked up by Dennis, who's charging up the other end of the pitch and looking to hold on to the ball. He does well to turn away from Douglas Luiz, and then Yates spreads it to the right wing position, and Brennan Johnson tries to steer it into the box, almost scooted through to Morgan Gibbs-White, was cleared away by Konsa and up to the halfway line. Back it comes, Kouyaté flicks it on, chested down by Gibbs-White, it's away by Douglas Luiz, one back on the halfway line, and then Aurier feathers it forward. Dennis then on to Johnson, back to Dennis down the right wing position, taking on Mings, goes down, foul, free kick for Nottingham Forest.
Started well, Dennis, looks really sharp, won a few good headers, good feet, exactly what they needed.
Yeah, he hasn't scored too many goals recently as Emmanuel Dennis. Steve Cooper and Stephen Gerrard have just been involved in a heated confrontation down on the touchline. Gerrard got a little bit angry about the award of the free kick. Those two actually worked together at one stage, sort of. He was the captain, Stephen Gerrard, at Liverpool, and Steve Cooper was one of the academy coaches. Ball is on the near side, and Gibbs-White is going to take the free kick midway between the edge of the penalty area and the byline on the right side of the area, 5 yards outside it. There is 6 red shirts inside the box, and
edge of the box is wide open.
There's 3 queuing up right on the edge of the box if they want to use one of those outliers. Here is the free kick. Gibbs-White sends it into the mix, and it's headed down and in. Brilliant connection. Super goal. And the celebration from Emmanuel Dennis isn't bad either. 1 goal in 18 before tonight, but his first Nottingham Forest goal is one that puts them in front against Aston Villa. Terrific header from the summer signing, one of a number of summer signings. It's his first goal since April. The cross from the right from Morgan Gibbs-White into the near post, flicked and glanced beyond Martinez by Emmanuel Dennis, and it's Forest 1, Villa 0.
It's a great ball from Gibbs-White and a good header from Dennis, but I have to say, I don't know where Tyrone Mings has gone. He's marking him and he's left him. He's got him and then he's let him go. It's a great little header, but you can't be free in the 6 yard, on the edge of the 6 yard box. It's a giveaway goal. He's given away the foul, Tyrone Mings, and then he's lost him on the cross, on the set play. Concentration, poor. Stephen Gerrard will be fuming because it's an alright ball in, it's not bad, but there's no one near him.
Well, Stephen Gerrard was already fuming actually about the award of the free kick. He went mental down the touchline, and he'll be even more furious with the marking from the free kick.
But once you give one away, you defend it properly, and if you get done by a brilliant goal, fair enough. That's not a brilliant goal. It's an half-decent ball and a free header. This is Premier League. You can't defend like that.
Well, Adrian mentioned it prior to the start of the game. He steadied the ship after 4 defeats in their first 5 Premier League matches. But let's be honest, this is an Aston Villa team that beat a floundering Southampton in a dog of a game, got a point from Leeds United in a 0-0 draw. That wasn't really much better in terms of spectacle. He's done it by stiffening the back line, conceded once in the last 3 games before tonight. That was against Manchester City. That was a routine goal to concede. Here is Cash. They've got to respond now, Aston Villa. Down the right side. Links up with McGinn, who spoons the ball to the far post. Henderson comes out in front of Watkins, collects, and he'll clear for Nottingham Forest, who lead by a goal to 0.
Worked it well down the right-hand side. Come out to McGinn for an in-swinger with his left foot. Safe. I call those safe, loopy balls. You're better messing it up by trying to really put some pace on it and whiz it in and give the forwards a chance. Just that lack of confidence in those final areas to try and do the right thing.
Well, Nottingham Forest and their supporters certainly buoyed by the first 17 minutes of this game. In fact, I think it's probably their first shot on target in the match, Danny. They didn't have too much. Or Serge Aurier, what's happened here? He's gone wiring in on the near touchline, and it was really late. And he took the back leg away of Jacob Ramsey. He's really hurt him. The ball had gone, actually.
No point, was there?
It was an absolutely unnecessary challenge.
Right in front of the dugout, going away from goal. I tell you what, not nice. Yeah, Yellow's right. But he's left to give himself a problem now, hasn't he, for the rest of the game?
Well, that's typical Serge Aurier, isn't it?
I was just going to say you'd have Tottenham fans maybe listening, thinking we've heard that before.
Yep, Serge Aurier, who has conceded 4 Premier League penalties in his career, as was pointed out during one of the many documentaries we now have that follow these football clubs by the then Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho. Ball delivered by Coutinho towards the far post, and it's headed away by Nottingham Forest. A little slip by McGinn, and it's allowed Dennis to pick the ball up, send it towards Johnson. Good intervention on this near side by Ashley Young, who travels down the left touchline after being played in by Coutinho. Looks to take on Aurier, then goes down after a challenge from Aurier, and a goal kick is given. Now, Ashley Young is complaining, and the other problem that Serge Aurier's got is that Ashley Young now knows his books. And Ashley Young is a very experienced footballer.
I know.
And you know what he's going to try and do.
Well, I don't think it would surprise you or me if in a certain stage of this game we're talking about Aurier walking off the pitch when he shouldn't be. Let's be honest. Silly tackle.
I've just seen a replay of the goal and Morgan Gibbs-White's delivery in towards that near post, and that brilliant bit of movement just to move away from the defender. But it's
easy to move when no one's around you, though. I mean, it really is poor defending, whichever way you look at it. I mean, even the cross in from Gibbs-White is a decent one, but it's quite low. You know, it should be being intercepted. That should be getting cleared at the near post, really.
Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 0, and Steven Gerrard has got a furrowed brow. He doesn't look particularly happy, and in the 23 games that they have conceded the first goal since the start of last season, Aston Villa have won once. That's not a great statistic. No wonder that brow is furrowed. I think there might be an extra wrinkle line on the front there now. Ball tossed down the touchline, headed away by Douglas Luiz, further into the air by Cook, headed back towards Watkins, and a bit of head tennis goes on before Gibbs-White chases a loose ball forward. He uses his arm to get beyond Konsa, and the free kick is given against him. Nottingham Forest fans not happy about that. Under the floodlights here at this rather striking stadium, 3 sides of it actually done towards the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s, and look quite smart. The stand that we're in is due to be demolished and rebuilt, and will be quite a fancy-looking, eye-catching place by the time it's finished. Here is Young, edge of the area, right-footed shot. What a finish! Brilliant strike from Ashley Young from the edge of the area, who slides on his knees in celebration in front of the Nottingham Forest fans. It's a brilliant hit from the edge of the area. Nottingham Forest and Dean Henderson didn't see that coming. In fact, before Henderson could react, the net behind him was already bulging. Ashley Young's first goal of the season, and it's a terrific finish from the former England man. 1-1.
Rolling back the years there with that strike. We've seen him score lots of goals from outside the box. Great technician. It comes from a long diagonal from the right hand side, and he gets up well. I think it's Watkins, heads it down, it falls to the edge of the box. He takes one touch, does Young. That's a brilliant finish into the bottom right hand corner. Well, right hand corner from the keeper's perspective. One touch, half volley. Whoa.
I think Nottingham Forest are complaining about the fact that there was a foul in the build-up to it coming out to Ashley Young.
I didn't see that.
There was a player who went to ground actually after going up for a header, and Steve Cooper went over to the fourth official immediately to protest. But it is 1-1. Nottingham Forest.
Well, if a player went to ground, it must be a foul, Sam. I mean, we know how honest they are these days. Well, why didn't blow?
Look at Steve Cooper. He's still having a go at the fourth official, wanting to know what the scenario was as the ball is thrown in on the near side, headed back out again. It's away for a second successive throw for Nottingham Forest. Down on the right-hand side, Serge Aurier tussling in with...
I tell you what you will notice when you watch the replay of the goal again. I couldn't quite see who it was on the replay, but as they've come out to block that shot, they've turned the back.
Broiler.
Never like to see that. You know, you're coming out to block, you block, and you take it on the chin, if it hits on the chin or anywhere else for that matter.
So Aurier goes up with Watkins. Watkins wins the header. Just watch here. There's a little push on Yates. Yates goes down. Then Foiler goes out, as you can see, and as the ball goes past him, it goes into the net. Here is Dennis on the right-hand side. So no foul on that occasion. There is a foul here on Yates, and Yates is calling for a yellow card. Anthony Taylor says don't do that, and it's going to be a free kick to Nottingham Forest, 3 yards in from the touchline. A little bit of Midland spice now being injected into this game.
Do you know what I really, it used to crack me up as a player as well, when you get, you know, coaches, physios, set piece coaches, doctors, everyone jumping off and giving the fourth official abuse. It's like, what's he going to do? He's going to make better
great
decisions.
Throw down the right-hand side for Buendia, who's got space to run into. He centres the ball. It's behind everybody, and Yates can get that clear. Comes back to McGinn, sends it wide. Lots of space for Ramsey inside the box. Steers it to the far post, offside. And Watkins is offside as he pokes it home. Well, I thought Nottingham Forest were far too open there. It was tight. I think he was offside, but Nottingham Forest will look back at that, and that's a big warning.
It's a good counter, wasn't it? Lots of positives from Villa in this opening 24 minutes. I mean, by Forest being open ready for that counter. It's a good ball from McGinn. He's offside. It's the right decision.
It shouldn't have been offside.
No.
It was in a good position to look along the line and see that he was just a little bit ahead of the last defender, and if he'd just come back a little bit, that would have been 2-1, and the ascendancy would have been Aston Villa's.
Thing is, when you're in there sometimes, that split second, you think, if I wait any longer I won't get there, and you take the gamble. It's a split second thing.
Dennis moving the ball out wide towards the right. It gives it towards Brennan Johnson, who shot cannons off the legs of the defender and goes behind and away for a corner to Nottingham Forest. 1-1 the score on game night on Talk Sport. Sam Matterface, Danny Murphy and Adrian Durham with you this evening as we bring you live commentary from the City ground.
It's been a good reaction from Villa. Could have felt sorry for themselves, didn't. Some good spirit, good play.
They'll have to mark better from this corner than they did with the last set piece. Morgan Gibbs-White is going to deliver it, right-footed. It's a clutch of players on the penalty spot. McKenna's peeled towards the far post. It's aimed towards him, headed away by Tyrone Mings. It drops inside the box, into the handball. There was another late challenge right on the edge of the box. I think it was Cook who committed that foul. He's going to be spoken to by Anthony Taylor. Buendia and Emi Martinez has come out of his goal. It is a yellow card for Steve Cook. And Emi Martinez has been told in no uncertain terms to go back by Anthony Taylor. The score is Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1 on TalkSport with Now Sports. Don't forget with the Now Sports subscription that you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa live right now for $11.99. No contract, search Now Sports. What do you make of that foul from Cook?
Did he get a yellow? Sorry, I wasn't watching.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it's well deserved, yeah. Cynical, silly foul.
Tackles like that were the trademark of one Stuart Pearce, who will be on breakfast tomorrow morning.
It's a bit harsh, that, Sam. He was a better tackler than that. What's a ball from Coutinho, that is.
He's working with Jim tomorrow, not me, so he can't have a go at me. They're on breakfast tomorrow morning. Ali, Stuart, Shay Gibbon, Nora, all tomorrow from 6 a.m. And looking forward to that when you wake up. And David Moyes is on the programme tomorrow as well, so make sure you tune in to TalkSport Breakfast for that. And Dan Byrne, big Dan Byrne, is going to be on the show as well. Ball clipped forward, up towards Morgan Gibbs-White, and bounces back into the path of Ryan Yates fortuitously after a header from Ashley Young. Aurier joining the attack, right side for Nottingham Forest. They're in the Villa half. Brennan Johnson plays it out towards the nearest touchline, and then Aurier stumbles, is pushed to the floor by Watkins, and a free kick is given to Nottingham Forest. Foyler was going to take it quickly, Yates tells him not to. Now he's tapped it short into Aurier, on to Johnson once again. He was fouled from behind by Ashley Young, and the referee says play on. The referee and the linesman didn't know where to give that throw in, so eventually, after Ashley Young went to take it, they decided to give it to Nottingham Forest. I thought it was a foul on Brennan Johnson actually by Young in the first place. 27 gone, well that's gone fast, 1-1 the score.
I think there's definitely a case for the team that keeps their calm the most tonight, the ones that just stick to the game plan and don't get too emotionally involved, because the dugouts are getting overly involved.
Oh, it's been very, very spicy on the touchline. Here is Brennan Johnson, right side, moving towards the edge of the box. A low ball, which wasn't great, flicked away by Ramsey, collected in the midfield area inside Villa territory by Freuler. Lovely little take past Coutinho. Wider on the right is Yates. Yates for Nottingham Forest, looking to travel down into the right wing position. He's being tracked by Ramsey well. Ramsey plays the ball out on the near touchline. It's away for a throw, level with the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area. Aurier will take it, tosses it in, collected by Freuler, who's going backwards rather than forwards. It's Cook who sends it high and long towards the edge of the area. Mings will head it clear. Freuler engages with Douglas Luiz, who goes down. The referee says get up. I thought it was a foul as well, and so did Stephen Gerrard. The ball has been worked wide out to the left, collected by Dennis, who scored the opener for Nottingham Forest, only to see Ashley Young score one back. It's 1-1 at the City ground. Watkins trying to steal in behind the Forest defence, but he was up there all on his own, didn't really have much help, and then Cook came across after he'd beaten McKenna, and it's out of play on the far side and away for an Aston Villa throw. TalkSport.
You just feel that Watkins has got to beat him with the centre halves with pace in behind if the ball's right. He looks really sharp. Both strikers do, to be honest. Dennis started well. Here he goes again. Yeah, only 1 in 8 for Ollie Watkins. It's a little bit too big for him on this occasion. He's kept it in, actually, Ollie Watkins, and he's stretched to do so, and then slipped and run into the... See how easy it was to get him in behind, though. Yeah, if the ball would have been a little bit shorter, then there would have been a real problem for Nottingham Forest. Then Ollie Watkins hasn't really done himself a great deal of good service this season. He has got the most goals and assists for Villa in the Premier League, but only 1 goal in his last 10 Premier League appearances. He's not scored since August the 20th. Yeah, he's certainly not been prolific. He gives so much else for the team. I know you want your strikers going to be based, opinions are going to be based on goals. I get that. But he does lead the line well for them. He does run the channels well. His work ethic tremendous, but he has got to start adding more goals. He's missed a couple of good chances in games I've seen recently. Ball chipped forward out towards the left, looking for Kouyaté, and he can't quite keep hold of it. Douglas Luiz puts it out. It's away from Nottingham Forest throw. It's currently Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Nottingham Forest win at 13-4. You can back Aston Villa to win the game at even money, or to back the draw at 19-10. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18+, begambleaware.org. This is TalkSport tonight. There will be the Sports Bar open for business late at 10 o'clock this evening. 03717 2233 Dean Saunders and
Jamie O'Hara will take or Jason Cundy will take your calls straight after the conclusion of this match. 31 gone. Forest trying to play out from the back, encouraged to come forward by their supporters. Up over the halfway line it goes. Been a good competitive opening half an hour of this game. Two teams desperate to post 3 points. No quarter given or asked. Really spicy at times as well. That was a little bit misguided from Gibbs White, who overran the ball. It almost went out of play, kept it in. He's given it straight to Buendia, who's angled a run from right to inside right over on the far side, then given it further towards the touchline and Matty Cash. John McGinn into Douglas Louise, and then back all the way to the halfway line and Mings. And again, Forest sit off them, allow them to come into their half.
It's the first time the game's calmed down, actually. It's been frenetic. It's now back to the shape we saw in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Here's McGinn, right side of the Forest half, blocked by Freuler. The ball bounces out of play, and Matty Cash will take a throw in for Aston Villa. Villa, I think, were a little bit frustrated they didn't get more out of the Leeds game when they drew 0-0. 7 shots on target in that match. They were playing against 10 men for a very long period of time.
They hit the woodwork a couple of times second half, didn't they?
Mings travels forward with the ball at his feet, gives it to Ramsey, and then wants to have it back again. But Ramsey's surrounded by 4 red shirts, and they come away with the ball, and Dennis then tries to just nudge it on towards Johnson, but it's blocked by Buendia, and it's out of play on this near side and away for a Nottingham Forest throw. 1-1 on Talk Sport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. And then a little trip on Emmanuel Dennis from Ashley Young, and that's going to be a free kick.
He's whistle happy, the ref, with all the wrong ones. That's what they call it, isn't it? Whistle happy.
Is that what you used to call it?
That's what I used to call it, yeah.
Would you tell him?
Yeah, I used to say, give your whistle a rest, will you? Let the game go. People pay to watch it, I used to say.
It's Johnson on the near side, travelling in from right to the centre. On the edge of the centre circle, he releases it back to McKenna, who is at the heart of the Forest defence, and now they work the ball down the left side. It's a low ball that takes a deflection towards the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area. It's cleared away by Villa, then comes back to Morgan Gibbs-White, who runs forward, exchanges passes with Dennis. It goes further wide towards Toffolo, didn't work its way to him in the end. Dennis foraged and won it back again. Now Toffolo has the chance to cross left wing position, straight into the body of Cash, goes out of play. It's away for a Forest throw.
Yeah, won a little bit more in attacking areas, Steve Cooper. Not really done too much when they've got into those positions.
1-1. 59% possession so far for Nottingham Forest in the last 10 minutes. 59% possession. It's probably a little bit more even than that over the course of the 34 minutes that we've had so far, but it just shows the interest that Nottingham Forest have shown. Here is Serge Aurier, a left-footed cross deep towards the far post. Koyate with a header straight into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they just caught there. Cash on the back post with 2 to mark. Lofted in with his left foot by Aurier to the back post. Got away with that one a little bit, I think, Villa.
Aurier's delivery was pinpoint to Koyate, but he didn't get enough power on the header or direction. Maybe there wasn't enough on the ball in the first place to really power it beyond Emi Martinez, who is very difficult to beat. McKenna tussling with Watkins again after another long ball to put him in behind over on the right hand side. It's out for a throw.
That ball's on, Sam. When they've got time and space, and when Watkins does that drop of his shoulder to go, it's a great ball for them. Because even if it doesn't quite get to him, which one will if they carry on doing it, you can get the bits and get up the pitch.
Ball has been played back down the right again, and again it's Freuler who watches Buendia and nudges it out for a throw. It is fascinating that Forest have so many issues defensively, and that is despite spending £162 million on 23 different players. The area which they haven't spent that much on is defence. Just £18 million of that huge investment went on recognised centre-backs.
It's bizarre. And actually, with all due respect to the two centre halves in McKenna and Steve Cook, who've spent the majority of their careers in the Championship and not proven at this level, so it's a strange choice. That's why I still believe the majority of the recruitment wasn't done by the manager. Ball
cleared up over the halfway line. I'm sure West Ham profited last season by the fact that they handed over the recruitment of most of their players to their manager. And David Moyes is going to be on the breakfast show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Tune in, DAB Digital Radio, 10:53 and 10:89 a.m. Or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Sport when you wake up in the morning.
You got a smart speaker?
I got about 7 of them.
Oh my God! One in each room?
Yeah, nice. One in every single room.
Or one in each house?
I've only got one house. Sadly.
Good ball.
Be nice to have a nice little pad like you, Dan, in Fulham, just sort of overlooking the river. We were talking about getting one together, weren't we, at one point?
All right, I mean, let's not broadcast that. Don't want Aid getting jealous.
Little fantasy apartment.
Rooftop pool.
Yeah, next to that, a new stand.
Yeah.
We like the idea of that. I mean, we can't afford it, but we can dream, right? Who's getting the big double
sure our
bedroom?
partners would be best pleased either.
Here's the free kick down the left-hand side for Aston, but concentrate on the game. 37 gone, 1-1. I was talking to me rather than you, by the way.
It's been a good game.
It's been a good game, yeah.
I mean, it's not full of quality, but we didn't expect that. But it's full of endeavour. Villa, to me, look more of a threat with Watkins going in behind.
Nottingham Forest have conceded 6 goals from set pieces so far this season. They're about to try and defend another here, and Douglas Luiz is standing over it. A dangerous set piece taker, right-footed into the wall. The wall turned its back but did its job, and then Douglas Luiz loses the ball, and it's picked up by Kouyaté, who's trying to steam down the touchline, but he can't get away from the attention of Buendia. Buendia did very well, actually. It's out for a Villa throw. Actually, one of the things that's impressed me about Buendia tonight is his defensive work.
Yeah.
He's on the other side of the ball.
His work ethic's really, really good. He does try and press, he does try and track back. In some ways, you could argue that bringing in Coutinho was... they're very similar, although Coutinho's got a better...
Oh, hold on a second. It's starting to flare up. Buendia has had a word. He's being taken away. Serge Aurier is keeping Ashley Young at arm's length. Anthony Taylor has to go across and separate one or two of the players. Now they're pulling a couple of key protagonists out from the group. Buendia is certainly one of those. It's supposed to be a throw-in on this near side. Ashley Young and Serge Aurier are still having a conversation. Trust me, Serge, Ashley Young is trying to wind you up. And if it works, you're going to get sent off, fella.
Yeah. But just saying, with Buendia and Coutinho, they're quite similar players. And if he knew, maybe he did know, Steven Gerrard, about the budget and what he did have to spend and what areas to prioritise, maybe we could have used the Coutinho wages or the money they spent on him elsewhere.
Ball thrown in down the left by Young. It's aimed in towards McGinn, then cleared away by Cook, picked up by Yates, and then up to Dennis, and Dennis didn't hold on to the ball. He wanted to turn it around the corner for Brennan Johnson, who joined the attack, but he didn't get it right, and it's broken down and bit of counter down the left with Ashley Young. Moving towards the angle of the penalty area. Infield it goes to Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz across the face of goal. Good header away by Yates. Still not clear though by Nottingham Forest. Now it might be. Yates steers it towards the halfway line. He thought he was fouled. It took Anthony Taylor a little while to have a look at it. Ironic cheers of approval now from the Nottingham Forest fans who think, well, you know what, it's about time he gave us a decision. 5 minutes before half-time, 1-1.
Yeah, it's just got a bit scrappy, hasn't it? A lot of little fouls, just a little bit of lack of quality, maybe the anxiety, maybe the desperate desire to keep the other team out and get something out of this game from both sets of players.
Still a long way to go. Only 5 minutes to go before half time, but another half to come. And loads of football coming up for you over the course of the next week here on Talk Sport, including tomorrow night. We've got Copenhagen Man City. Ashley Young just taking a little bit too long before trying to toss the ball in. AC Milan against Chelsea tomorrow night from the Champions League is at 8 o'clock on Talk Sport. Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on Talk Sport. We've got Tottenham against Eintracht Frankfurt. Thursday night, Arsenal away at Bodo Glimt at 5:45. Friday night, Brentford Brighton. Saturday, Leicester Palace. The football goes on and on and on Talk Sport. Here's the throw-in on the halfway line for Serge Aurier. Down the touchline it goes. Headed away by Ashley Young. They've gained about 20 yards down the touchline. Steve Cooper and Steven Gerrard still having words and glances and looks.
No, I think
official, is it, who's having a word with now?
Fourth official, I think.
Yeah, he's come right out towards the edge of his penalty, his technical area, to have a word with the fourth official tonight, Tony Harrington. Forest trying to progress down the right touchline with their throw-in. Eventually Aston Villa win it back, give it to their goalkeeper, and look to play out from the back with Tyrone Mings into Douglas Luiz. No pressure from Nottingham Forest. Mings. Forest retreating into their own half as Villa come up towards the halfway line. 42 on the clock. Mings clips it forward, looking for the run of McGinn. He flicks it down the left. Aurier with an overhead kick away. Buendia trying to keep it alive. It's away again by Aurier, and then a good bit of skill by Freuler to take it away from two blue shirts and exchanges passes with Yates, and then sends it down the touchline for Brennan Johnson to chase. Going to drift out of play that and out for a throw-in, but the idea was right from Freuler.
For me, there's certainly with a bit more calm, composure and quality for Villa when they get in those areas. There's so many opportunities for them if they can just calm themselves down when they get into those positions and pick the right pass.
Who's the players that need to just cool their tempers and make sure that they wait before making that perfect pass? Who's not doing that at the moment?
Well, it's not one actually. There's been two or three occasions. One was Buendia, Ashley Young, and also Luiz then as well. It's sometimes just putting your foot on it, waiting to see that pass and bump. McGinn's been guilty a couple of times earlier on. They've got themselves in some really good positions.
I don't think Yates is going to get away with coming over and dragging Douglas Luiz round the neck off the ball.
No.
That's going to be a free kick which they take short from Mings to Ramsey, and then spread it to Konza, who's got a bit of space on the Aston Villa right. Trundles forward, then checks back, gives it to the orange-booted Tyrone Mings. A lot was made about Mings being replaced as captain, but statistically Villa performed better with him in the team. They've lost all 3 Premier League games without Mings under Gerrard, winning just one of the 12 Premier League games he's missed for the club across 4 seasons. Here is Ramsey playing it back into midfield. Bit of space for Konza to waltz into. He waits and releases a lovely ball down to Cash, round back the back of the defence, pulls it through the 6-yard box, steered away by Freuler, and out for a corner kick.
That's a great example. Brilliant from Cash, by the way, getting in behind Gibbs White. I've told you that was a problem all half. He doesn't see him, he doesn't spot danger very well on that left-hand side, Gibbs White. He's got to switch on. But there, he's in. Final ball. That final decision. He's done great getting in there. You've got men in the box. Can you pick someone out?
Well, the answer so far has been no. Here is the corner. It's short into Coutinho, back to McGinn for a different angle. He's picked out Douglas Luiz, who's sweeping ball is blocked by Toffolo. It breaks out on this near side. Morgan Gibbs White is wrestled to the floor by Konza, yellow card. But he got a yellow card because it was cynical and he was doing it to stop a breakaway. And the free kick has been given.
Yeah, it's the right decision. It's a good move from Villa, good corner, nicely played. Just didn't quite get hold of it. Into the short man, back out to the wide man, and then to the edge of the box, well, just inside the box for Douglas Luiz to try and whip it, and he just miskicked it, but it was a good move, nice and inventive.
I mentioned earlier on that Anthony Taylor had dished out 3 red cards in his last 4 games that he's officiated in. I don't think any of us will be surprised if that continues, that trend tonight. Ball down the Nottingham Forest right. Brennan Johnson hooking it into the penalty area. Dennis tried to bring it down and did so, but the flag was already up on this near side because the ball had gone out of play.
I have to say, I think the 2 Villa fullbacks have done well.
Young and Cash.
Yeah,
which is important because they've had problems in those areas.
They've had problems in those areas, and also with obviously Johnson and Gibbs White, who are 2 young, talented players. You could have seen that as an area of the pitch where Forest would have some joy, but they haven't. Cash has made a real difference.
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45 minutes here on TalkSport. Ashley Young has taken nearly 2 minutes to take this throw in, which is why you're getting the howls of derision from the Forest supporters. McKenna under a little bit of pressure from Buendia and from Watkins, finds Cook eventually, and then Henderson will clear, and he hasn't got a great distribution on that. In fact, he spooned it into the air. It's missed by Brennan Johnson. It goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw. Koyate screaming at Johnson and Yates, get further up the pitch, put pressure on them. They're not listening to him. He's going absolutely bonkers, Koyate. They've allowed them to move down the touchline. It's headed away by Aurier as it comes in, and now Dennis is fighting with it with Mings, and Mings then loses out almost to Johnson.
Did well.
And then recovered and put it out of play on this near side.
Did well, because he nearly got himself in a right pickle.
Aurier into Dennis, a little tap to Yates, fouled by Douglas Luiz. Set piece for the home side Nottingham Forest on the right angle of the penalty area, about 5 yards back from that, right at the end of the first half, in the second minute of stoppage time at the end of the first 45. And Austin McPhee, who is the set piece coach for Aston Villa, is just trying to organise his team defensively to ensure that they don't concede at a crucial time here, Danny Murphy.
Yeah, it's a good position for Forest, especially with their size. If Gibbs White can put another good ball in here. I don't like the amount of people in the Villa dugout going out and shouting on different instructions. There's too many cooks.
Here is Gibbs White to take the throw in on take this free kick on this near side, right-footed, delivers it deeper this time. It's too high, far too high. And it's over the head of Emmanuel Dennis and out on the far side and away for a throw. What do you mean there's too many
You've got
cooks?
Neil Christie coming out and shouting one instruction, Gary Mack's come out, Stevie G's there, and then you've got the so-called set-piece coach. He's going out shouting instructions. Come on.
So-called set-piece coach?
Well, I find that whole subject absolutely bizarre, because any good coach should be a set-piece coach as well. You can't just be a set-piece coach. That means you're an idiot.
If he is a set-piece coach, he didn't do a very good job for the first Nottingham Forest goal, because as it was swung into the penalty area, no one marked Emmanuel Dennis, and he put Nottingham Forest...
Can't get into it. We need more time. We need more time. Let me just tell you, there's nothing wrong with coaching set players. It's been happening since years ago. Every good set plays, work on them, coach them. But you can't be a good coach if you only can do set plays.
Ashley Young scored an equaliser. Yes. It's 1-1 at the break, Adrian. No one is safe tonight from the tongue of Murphy.
Hold on, I just asked a question. I only answered it. I actually don't think Arsenal fall off a cliff. I'm joking. I think they've been terrific and they will finish in the top four. But I think Liverpool will as well.
If you download the TalkSport app and go to the podcast section, on the Game Day podcast, which was released today, reviewing all the Premier League action from the weekend, there is a healthy debate, let's put it that way, between Alex Crook and I about whether or not Manchester United will finish above Liverpool.
What did you say?
What do you think? That they wouldn't. But if you tune in, you can hear the impassioned defence that Manchester United supporting Alex Crook put in for the case for Eric Ten Hag's team to achieve something a little bit more than many people think they will. He also said he thought they played very, very well last night. They did okay.
Well, they've spent more money than anyone else in the Premier League, so they should be thinking about the top four, shouldn't they? Let's be honest.
We've started here for the second half. That podcast and many others available on the TalkSport app. We're concentrating right now where you can listen to live commentary of Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa, and Aston Villa have made a bright start to the second half in blue shirts, shorts and socks, attacking the goal away to our right hand side. And they have a corner, their first of the second half, to be taken by Douglas Luiz. Always a nervous moments in these parts when anyone's got a corner against Nottingham Forest. And the ball has been placed down in the quadrant. It's delivered into the box. It's aimed towards the near post. Good flicked header away by Toffolo, but rescued by Ramsey, who runs to the angle of the penalty area, plays a low ball into the box, away by Yates. And then
Sam, that's that last ball again. Great position Villa were in. Just a bit more composure.
Well, Yates' ball upfield wasn't full of composure either, because he had the opportunity to play in behind for Emmanuel Dennis to try and race forward. He didn't. The ball has been played towards the edge of the box. Ramsey into Watkins, then half cleared by Nottingham Forest. They take it wide to the right. It's cleared over the halfway line, and Dennis chases it down. So 1-1, TalkSport. And the two teams look like this. Nottingham Forest in Garibaldi red with white shorts and red socks, attacking the goal away to our left. Henderson in goal. The back five of Aurier, Cook, Kouyate, McKenna and Toffolo at times. In fact, Koyate's playing in midfield more than in the back, with Freuler and Yates. Gibbs White and Johnson playing on the flanks, and Dennis playing up top. And Aston Villa coming down the left-hand side with Coutinho, flicking the ball into the box. Right-footed delivery from just inside the area, goes over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Martinez is the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Cash, Conter, Mings and Young the goal scorer. Ramsey, Douglas Luiz and McGinn. And then Buendia, Watkins and Coutinho up top. You're listening to TalkSport. Here's Danny Murphy.
Yeah, good effort from Coutinho, good feet, well, got himself in a good position. The effort wasn't so good, blazed it over the top, cutting in on that left-hand side like we've seen him do so often, and he tries to take the leather off it instead of guiding it. But nice and positive start from Villa.
Ball sent long by Dean Henderson, flicked on to Dennis, controlled by Johnson. He wanders out to the near touchline. Lots of Aston Villa blue shirts are in advance of him, and they try to keep it in, Nottingham Forest, with Toffolo scampering down the left flank and trying to hook it back across the face of goal, but it was always going out. It's a goal kick to Villa. It was a bit of a poor ball by Brennan Johnson, that, in the first place. And there'll be one less picture in the programme of him next week, I think. Was it 12 in the first 15 pages or something? Pictures of Brennan Johnson today in the programme. Very popular figure amongst the Nottingham Forest supporters. Here's Douglas Luiz through the centre circle. Nudges it on to Ollie Watkins. Wider towards the left. It's collected by Buendia. Low centre of gravity. Flicks it into the path of Coutinho. Goes down under pressure. Buendia goes down under pressure. And it's going to be a Nottingham Forest opportunity to break. It gets to the halfway line. It's smuggled out. It goes out for a throw. Is it Ramsey who's gone?
Yeah, he's got to be a bit quicker there on the edge of the box. That's again Ramsey getting himself in a great position and not having a picture. Here he is.
And he's got a picture this time, and he's rolled Steve Cook into the penalty area, and he's tried to square it but couldn't deliver it to Watkins. It was a good intervention by McKenna, and it's cleared away. Back towards the edge of the box. McGinn with a shot, blocked by Chiarte. Now a chance to break for Forest. Johnson forward. He was fouled from behind by McGinn. It wasn't a good foul at all. It's a yellow card for John McGinn. And a free kick.
Yeah, right decision. Just going back to that, Sam, the Ramsey chance again. He's in a wonderful position. He gets down the left side. I actually think he makes the right option in trying to pick Watkins out instead of shooting. But they have got themselves in positions to be up in this game. I mean, he's a terrific talent. He's got great feet. But he's going to learn as he goes on. When he gets himself in those really good areas like this, he's got to find the right ball. Bit slow, that was all. A little bit quicker across to Watkins. He's got to tap in.
Scores Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1. TalkSport with Now Sports. Don't forget, with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa live right now for $11.99. No contract, search Now Sports. Ball high up inside the Villa half of the field. Gibbs White stretches for the ball, but it goes through to Henderson, and it's cleared away by the Villa defence. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Tyrone Mings has it. Nottingham Forest's record against Villa is not the best. They've won just one of their last 13 league games between the two sides. The last meeting here was Aston Villa's 3-1 championship win March 2009 as the ball goes into the box from the right from Buendia, looking for Coutinho. It's away on the far side for Ramsey and then rescued by Coutinho. Young, Coutinho again, through to aim at in the centre. It's Young who tries to hit it, takes a deflection. Henderson comes out, collects for Nottingham Forest and will clear. John McGinn scored twice in that game in March 2009 for Aston Villa. Only 5 current players are still available for either of these two teams. Yates, McGinn, Mings, all playing tonight. Colback and Steer are involved in the squads. And it shows just how much can change in 3 years. The other match that year, by the way, was a 5-5 draw. We haven't really shown signs that that's possible tonight. It's the final ball in the box probably letting down both teams.
Well, more so Villa, because Forest aren't getting to the Villa box. We started this second half, Villa right on the front foot. That was a great take from Wendy and a brilliant cross, and again that was actually good defending from Forest, last ditch. But it's a really good start to the second half of Villa. They'll be pleased, Steven Gerrard, with the control they've got in the game at the moment. Forest fans getting a bit irate.
Now, free kick decision has gone against them, and Douglas Luiz is stroking the ball forward. He's played it straight to a red shirt rather than a blue one, and then it's played down the line by Toffolo, and again his ball down the side, which is what I was referring to really. A couple of times actually they've got into positions where they can release Dennis and just haven't come up with the ball that has fed him.
Yeah, lack of quality or confidence or both.
Here on the far side, Coutinho's just trying to swivel his way towards the edge of the box. Hands it off to Young, and then the reverse ball to Buendia is a poor one. And it goes straight out of play, and Steven Gerrard turns on his heels. They're not quite Cuban heels, but they are rather fancy shoes. and he grimaces in frustration. Alan Tate gets a little bit irate standing next to Steve Cooper, who doesn't stop moving in that technical area, does he? Constantly wandering around on the edge of his technical zone. Ball chipped forward by Henderson into Toffolo. Toffolo's not going to keep it in from that sort of area. Why on earth he thought that was a good decision, I don't know. It was poor play from Nottingham Forest all round, actually, because Henderson put him in a tight spot initially, and we couldn't really do too much with that.
Do you know what's amazing? I don't think coaches, start again. Coaches who've played do know, but they forget. The impact you actually have by standing in that box, shouting stuff on, is so minimal you wouldn't believe. Absolutely, for me, couldn't hear them. The game plan was there. I know what I'm doing. We know what we're doing. It's just a little bit of noise coming from the box.
Especially if you're a set piece coach.
Oh, don't.
Here is Morgan Gibbs-White winning the ball on halfway, charging into opposition territory, playing out towards the right-hand side. It's collected on the edge of the box by Brennan Johnson. He's engaged by Douglas Luiz. He's kept at bay by Douglas Luiz. But the ball is into the feet of Morgan Gibbs-White once again, right side. Can he produce a cross this time? He goes down the outside, then turns it back. There's a lot of space in midfield for Freuler, and Aurier has found him. On to Toffolo. A chance to get the ball wide towards the left-hand side now. And Emmanuel Dennis has Nottingham Forest changed the angle of attack. He looks to squeeze between two light blue shirts, and, well, that's easily got away by Aston Villa. And the Nottingham Forest attack comes to nothing before Watkins sends it back towards Buendia, and it goes straight out of play. And again, Forest get a little bit of extra yardage.
Yeah, just chatting about that. My three most influential managers were all so calm. They'd never be standing or pacing around the box.
Gerard Houllier.
Yep, sat calm.
Roy Hodgson.
Yep, super calm. And Dario Gardi.
Here is Gibbs-White trying to nudge the ball through to Emmanuel Dennis again. The idea was right, actually, because Dennis had a little bit of space, but the ball wasn't great to him, and it flicked up into the arms of Emi Martinez, who came to the perimeter of his penalty area. And cohesion and blend, something that Steve Cooper will need time to get right. They've produced the fourth youngest average age Premier League starting 11 this season, aged 25 years and 210 days. They've already used 25 players in this Premier League season, which is the joint most with Southampton, another young team that is struggling for a bit of consistency.
No, he's right. It's a foul. He didn't see it, the ref.
It was Jacob Ramsey who was fouled, and it was Ryan Yates who went in on him. The referee has come to intervene and separate the two, and I'm not sure he's going to take action. Was it the linesman on the near side that spotted it and alerted his attention to it, the referee? Ramsey wasn't happy at all, was he? He thought that was very late.
No, it was a bit, it was after, wasn't it? It's like a little throw to the ground, wasn't it?
I love the fact that Yates then pointed at...
well, he's causing Yates all sorts of problems, to be honest with you. He's running off the back of him. He's getting on the ball more. He's getting frustrated.
Danny Ings warming up on the near touchline. I think he's trotting over and may well be the first substitute that we have in the game. He's just speaking to the bench. Certainly there's... Nico Williams, I think he's going to come on for Nottingham Forest prior to that. But there is going to be a change for Nottingham Forest first. Here is Coutinho's free kick. It's in the centre point of the Nottingham Forest half. Aston Villa attacking the goal away to our right, and it's going to be Coutinho who drifts it into the box. It's headed away by Cook, further clear by Brennan Johnson, and then it's one back by Coutinho. There was a pull back by Douglas Luiz, and a free kick is given.
I've got to tell you this. I mean, we talk about... I know we were joking a little bit, but we talk about set play coaches, right? And good coaches always give players ideas and work on them with the players. I spent my whole week thinking about different set plays and practicing them and doing them with other players. These are too elaborate, some of what Villa are doing. They're so over the top elaborate. That's a guy who's coming in and trying to tick a box and make sure he earns his pay packet. Some of these elaborate free kicks that they're trying to work are just nonsensical. That particular last one, I mean, come on. I don't understand why this responsibility has been taken so far away from the players to be inventive, to be creative, to have to have the autonomy to make some decisions on the pitch and play quick ones and use your brain. There's no coach I ever worked with that could think of better free kicks than me. It's all I did every day when I trained and went to sleep at night. It's like some coach who's never played telling me that what I should be doing on a free kick. Give me ideas, we'll have a conversation. Be standing in the dugout shouting over to me and oh God, it frustrates me, honestly.
You sound like you were a fun guy to be around.
I'd stay out after training, do free kicks with the coaches for hours, and we'd have debates and we'd try things and I'd listen. But ultimately, I'm on the pitch and I made the decisions.
Nico Williams is on, and he is about to take a position off Serge Aurier over in the right full-back position. It's probably a good thing, really, because he has had the most shots, the most chances, the most tackles and interceptions for Nottingham Forest over the course of the season so far, Nico Williams. Here's Cash dealing with Gibbs White into the area. Buendia, he's pulled it to the edge of the box, but there's no one there. Douglas Luiz is eventually arriving, and it goes back towards Ashley Young. What an opportunity.
Cash has got him behind Gibbs White again and again and again, and it's going to end up being the downfall of them if he doesn't switch on.
Cash finding Buendia, who's in behind Toffolo, produces a cross, hits McKenna, goes behind, out for an Aston Villa corner. Another good run down that right hand side.
Final ball again, Sam.
Productive area of the field for Aston Villa.
It is. But they get themselves in, they can't do much more than get themselves in these good areas. The final ball has got to be better and they can win the game.
Douglas Luiz to take the corner kick. Nottingham Forest man marking on this occasion. Ball being sent towards the penalty spot. It's chested down by Konza. Konza thinks he was fouled inside the box. It comes back out to Douglas Luiz. It's a deep ball towards Watkins at the far post, and it's saved down low by Henderson.
Good header, Watkins. Good save.
Danny Ings readying himself to get on the pitch now for Aston Villa, who have come back into this game after conceding the first goal to Nottingham Forest. 1-1 is the score, and we're hitting the hour mark on Talk Sport. Gibbs White trying to fly the ball out to Brendan Johnson. The idea was right, the execution just a little bit too much on the ball from Gibbs White. It went in behind the full-back Ashley Young, but it was just too heavy for Brendan Johnson to chase, and it goes out of play.
They're not stringing enough passes together for us. They've got to get yourself into a game, and that means sometimes pass and get some touches on the ball to get you up the pitch. They can't string more than 2 or 3 passes together at the moment.
Just having a look at the replay of that penalty shout, and
Cash is in again.
Here comes Cash down the right-hand side, goes down under pressure from Gibbs White. Is it Freuler who just dangles a foot out into the back of Jacob Ramsey?
Seemed very similar to the Thiago one.
On Gabriel Jesus, yes, it was very similar. Exactly what crossed my mind. Yates sends it out towards the far side. Nico Williams picks it up, charges over halfway. He's got support right and left. Dennis is screaming for it in the centre. He crosses the ball, but he can't beat Mings, and it goes out on the far side and away for a throw. And Nico Williams getting forward and causing problems for Aston Villa after just coming off the bench here. 1-1 the score, 61 on the clock. Anthony Taylor just delayed play for a second there and now has encouraged it to continue. Williams doesn't know where to toss the ball right now. Eventually sends it down the right side looking for Brennan Johnson. It's headed out and away, and then collected eventually by Douglas Luiz after poor control from Ryan Yates. Buendia inside his own half, holds it well, allows it to roll across his body, and then McGinn flicks it in behind, and racing forward is Watkins. Watkins getting down the left side, 3 arriving in the box now. Watkins holds on to it well, tries to chop it back onto his right foot, finds McGinn, and then the ball is elevated so high into the air.
What a great break, what a waste again, what a great break. Men and bodies in the box, McGinn on his left foot, put a good ball in. No.
It was one of those loopy ones from John McGinn again.
Yeah.
What would you call it earlier on? Soft ball or something? Safe ball.
Safe ball, yeah. There's no conviction to it.
Kouyaté charging forward. Now on the left side is Toffolo. Chance to cross back in field, and again that ball into the box isn't great because Morgan Gibbs White was waiting for it. It was just in front of him and eluded his toes. Cleared away by Aston Villa over the halfway line. Watkins leads the charge. He's running down the right, taking on the Nottingham Forest defence on his own. It might break here for McGinn. It's not going to because Kouyaté's getting his body in between man and ball. Cleared away.
He's got to use his brain.
Well, they should have played advantage there, Anthony Taylor, but he'd blown the whistle. There was space actually on the other side of the ball for Toffolo to break, and he's got to go back and take a free kick now. And that was unnecessary for Anthony Taylor to get involved there. And Steve Cooper is turning around to the fourth official, Tony Harrington, and explaining that. And just in case Steve Cooper didn't understand him, Alan Tate has come out just to ensure that he knows the score as well. Ball cleared away by Henderson. And the flick on is towards Dennis from Morgan Gibbs-White. Dennis slips inside the area but recovers his footing and the ball. Gets it onto his right foot, keeps the ball alive, and then again, don't know what he was trying to do there, but he played it against Douglas Luiz. It's almost like he'd run out of an idea by the time he got to the edge of the box. He goes back to halfway. Nottingham Forest looking to try and build, and they go all the way back to the goalkeeper once again. There's a little bit of frustration creeping into those inside the City ground.
They're in the game, but what Forest haven't done is they haven't given the supporters the right type of football to get them going. It's more like an away performance. They're staying in the game, good shape. I understand it, I get it. I just thought tonight was an opportunity for them to have a real go, but he's making sure that they're difficult to beat, and I understand it in his position. The game's there for Villa.
And certainly Villa have started the second half better than Nottingham Forest have. There have been signs in the last few moments though that Forest are about to come to life. Ball has been spent wide out towards the left. It's Toffolo's delivery to the far post. Johnson onto Gibbs-White. Johnson maybe could have done a little bit more with that on the right side of the penalty area. Broiler back to Johnson, approaching the box on the right angle, tiptoes towards the area. Lovely turn by Gibbs-White, right-footed shot towards the far corner. It's only narrowly wide of the right hand up light as the goalkeeper looks at it. Brilliant piece of skill from Morgan Gibbs-White. Got it out of his feet, and with the outside of his right boot trying to curl it into the top corner, and he wasn't too far away. Balletic turn past Douglas Luiz, and a shot which, if it had been on target, would have troubled the goalkeeper.
Really creative, love that first little glimpse of that quality he's got. But he spent most of the evening chasing Cash back into dangerous areas.
Danny Ings on, Coutinho off. 65 minutes on the scoreboard here at the City ground, this famous old ground in the heart of the city, the sporting heart of the city. There's so much sporting activity that you can do in just a few steps from the entrance of the City ground. We're parked in Trent Bridge, and you can see Meadow Lane not too far away on the other side of the river. Here is Toffolo, left side of the Forest defence, midway inside his own half, to the halfway line, and Gibbs-White is becoming increasingly more influential in the game. Williams up over the halfway line, onto Johnson. His cross is too deep, it's going to go right over the head of Dennis, who might keep it in, you know, because it's swirled back into play. And Dennis now approaching the edge of the penalty area, comes back in on his right foot, then tries to step over and then runs into traffic.
Great defender.
And between McGinn and Cash, they managed to get it away.
Better from Forest though, isn't it? Gibbs-White becoming more involved, drifting off that left hand side, trying to get on the ball. I like to see that. Sometimes you have to wander away from the position you're playing to have an impact on the game.
Douglas Luiz into Jacob Ramsey, centre circle, plays it wide to the right. There was an opportunity to play that in behind for Cash, he didn't take it. It goes back infield to Douglas Luiz again, who strides through that centre circle, plays it on to McGinn forward to Jacob Ramsey, who got into space in between the lines, and then on the left side it's Buendia, back to Douglas Luiz. It's better from Aston Villa, good quick football. Forest have got men back behind the ball though. Cash in the right wing position now, back to McGinn into Konza back to McGinn, the right side of the area, about 10 yards outside it, being kept at arm's length by Nottingham Forest, who've got a good shape. 67 on the clock. Stephen Gerrard stands arms crossed, looking at what is going on in front of him as Aston Villa patiently try and prise open the Nottingham Forest defence. 1-1 the score. Come on you Reds is the cry from the Nottingham Forest fans. They want a little bit more energy from their team, who certainly trying to stay in the game for as long as possible here and try and get a point on the board. They're bottom of the table at this moment in time. How important a point could be. Here's Cash right side into the area. Again, intercepted by Yates this time, coming back and got in front of Buendia. They look to escape. Gibbs White heads it on. No one to get hold of it, and it goes all the way through.
It's actually really good defending from Yates.
Martinez
got himself in a great position defensively. Exactly what you want from a central midfielder. Really patient defending.
Aston Villa with Buendia travelling down the right side, looking to find Danny Ings. An introduction in the second half for him. Cash with a cross blocked by Gibbs White, and it goes out of play on this near side. It's TalkSport, and you are listening to Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1, with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Mings just left of the centre circle, plays it on to Buendia, who's on the edge of the box. Watkins now trying to go down the left side, pulls it into the box, comes back towards McGinn. He decided to dive and head the ball from 10 yards out, was never going to do anything with that. It's cleared away by Forest on the right side by Williams, and then Mings sends it back again. Forest can't get out of their own half at the moment, and for whatever reason, McGinn there decided to throw himself at the ball rather than wait and then try and hit it with his feet. Ings is in an offside position. Free kick has been given, and Nottingham Forest have a little bit of respite.
It's a good attack again from Villa, and they are causing problems, but that final bit of quality is really frustrating to watch. Even the ball from Buendia early in that move into the inside left channel, overhit, cross pulled back. It was a hard chance for McGinn, to be honest, but he tried. Here we go.
Here comes Morgan Gibbs White, the wrong side of Douglas Luiz, on to Dennis. Dennis held on to it for far too long. He could have given it back to Gibbs White. Instead, they've gone to Williams, right side. He produces a cross into the box, headed away, only as far as Kouyaté, who shoots towards the far corner.
That's a shame.
And Martinez not only stops it from going in, but catches the ball high towards his left-hand side and prevents a certain goal. Good save.
Makes a change, doesn't it, seeing a keeper catch it? Edge of the box, Kouyaté, it's a decent strike. I mean, he should save it, but...
Here comes a change. Emmanuel Dennis is off, and Sam Surridge is on. Interesting that Surridge is the one that Steve Cooper has gone to rather than Taiwo Awoniyi, who has scored a couple of goals at the City Ground this season. Surridge hasn't scored a Premier League goal. When he starts, he usually does register, but not too many come from the bench. But he's on to try and lead the Forest attack for the final 20 minutes. Yeah, 8 goals in 10 starts for Forest since moving from Stoke in January. And he's on for the final quarter of the game. Wearing number 16, tall, lean, blonde-haired, strong, good in the air.
Sounds like you.
Apart from that tall bit and good in the air.
And lean.
Well, if you know, I had no potatoes in my pie earlier. Here's Gibbs White flicking the ball onto Surridge, who's knocked over by Mings. Free kick given, 7 yards outside the centre circle.
I think he looked like he won the ball there. I think he's unlucky.
Now Anthony Taylor just trying to calm down Brennan Johnson, who's got something to say. Nottingham Forest being encouraged here by their supporters to get forward. It was a little bit too much activity from Tyrone Mings maybe on Sam Surridge. He has won the free kick, and it is 12 yards inside opposition territory. Attacking the goal away to our left. Brian Yates turns round to the Trent end and tries to encourage a little bit more from the supporters behind the goal. He gets that. Here is Morgan Gibbs White with a delivery down the left-hand side. It's a low one into Toffolo, so he can cross. He didn't cross first time. He went back to Gibbs White, and the whole free kick process has been rendered pointless. It's back to Freuler, who's on the centre circle, now trying to play a quarter-pack pass out towards the left, towards Gibbs White again, who's got it. He's tight on the near touchline though, being pursued, and he's trying to wriggle out of the grass that Buendia's put him in. He's got away from Cash, but can't get away from Douglas Luiz. and it's cleared away by the Brazilian, but only as far as Steve Cook, who's engaged immediately by Ings. Ings almost took it away from him, but it was tidied up by McKenna. Then Toffolo is fouled by Douglas Luiz, and that's going to be a free kick just in from the touchline. Oh dear, because you think it was soft?
Well, he hasn't moved, he just ran into him and fell over. I hate seeing free kicks for any team when a player just runs into someone and falls over. You see what I mean here? You're allowed to stand... It's not a free kick.
Well, Anthony Taylor has given it, and in front of the dugout, down in front of us in this main stand, or the old main stand, 2 yards in from the touchline, Morgan Gibbs-White has the ball at his feet again. I think there'll be a few central defenders hoping for a better delivery. It's deep towards the far post. It's headed into the air by Yates. It's not cleared by Aston Villa. Eventually it bounces on the edge of the box, bit of space for Buendia, who's being chased by Surridge, and then he plays it wide to the right, and Matty Cash blows out his cheeks and powers upfield into Ings, who rolls. Freuler does well, plays it towards the left. It's a bit behind Ramsey. Should have gone back to the right, and Cash had made a really good run. Ramsey trying to find Cash. The ball is picked off. It goes through the middle, and Ings tries to chase it, and it's picked up by Henderson. Sent wide towards Gibbs-White again. They counter quickly, come in field. Buendia does well, wins it, turns it over. Now powers forward. He's got space for Watkins in the centre, but the ball into the box is too close to Henderson, who gobbles it up again. Danny Murphy.
Same old things, getting a bit more frantic now, isn't it? A bit more end-to-end. Villa pushing on, trying to get the win. But we're talking about the same consistent themes, aren't we? That lack of quality in the final third, that little bit of calmness. They've had the best opportunity second half. They've got themselves into the more dangerous areas. They've looked the more likely. They just can't find that little last bit. Must be so infuriating for Stevie Gerrard to watch.
Well, there's certainly more spaces appearing in this second half as we reach the final 15 minutes of the game. Yates combines with Surridge. Surridge turns it back wide to Nico Williams. Williams, who can't take on Ramsey over on the far side. Ramsey charges forward. Williams wins it back, gets up, takes it a halfway, is pulled to the floor, gets a free kick, and then Williams squares up to Ramsey over on that far side. There's a bit of pushing, shoving, all sorts going on, and chest to chest, head to head. Johnson pulls one away. Douglas Luiz gets involved. There's a yellow card for Ramsey. Probably be a yellow card for Nico Williams as well.
It's all a bit pointless, isn't it? Got 15 minutes for both teams to keep their heads and try and get something out of this game.
I'm not sure that Nico Williams did get booked for his involvement in that. It was just Jacob Ramsey. The fifth yellow card of the game that's been handed out by Anthony Taylor. Free kick then for Nottingham Forest on the halfway line. Leander Dendoncker is about to come on. He certainly won't mind getting stuck in midfield. He grew up on a pig farm. You wanted to know that, didn't you?
I just couldn't think of anything relevant to respond.
He's coming on for John McGinn.
Yeah, it's not been his best evening, John McGinn. Can't fault his work ethic, of course, but his quality in attacking areas hasn't been his normal self. As we know, he's got a sweet left foot. It's not happened for him tonight.
Throw in for free kick far side on the halfway line, about a step in from the touchline, and it's a high line from Aston Villa, which I think Nico Williams will try to exploit by dripping it in behind that and hoping that someone can charge in. It's up towards the edge of the box, and McKenna missed it with the header, but he's got the second ball. He's in the box, and then he does a little Cruyff turn which almost takes it away. Surridge with a cross into the area, but it's a stretch by Martinez before it reaches Koyate, and the goalkeeper pours it into his chest and will clear away for Aston Villa.
I'd love to understand the logic of why they keep such a high line and then just before it's kicked run back in at 7-8 yards. I mean, we can set you up with a set piece, Coach, if you want to have a discussion about it. I'd love to have a discussion with him about it, yeah. I could go through all of them tonight and ask a lot of questions.
Cameron Archer
probably leave more perplexed than when I went in.
Cameron Archer about to come on. This is what the Aston Villa fans wanted when they need a goal. They want Cameron Archer to come onto the field of play, and he's about to enter the fray. The 20-year-old who has played twice in the Premier League this season. Has 7 goals in 18 starts at Preston between January and May last year. And had a profitable spell on loan at Solihull Moors as well, where he caught the attention. Obviously scored a lot of goals in League Cup football for Aston Villa so far. 12 to go. This is...
Oh, it's too safe.
Konza back to the halfway line. Douglas Luiz, who is the furthest player back towards his own goal for Aston Villa. Mings strides forward into the box. Watkins back to Mings, edge of the area. And then Douglas Luiz further back, the quarterback trying to nudge it forward. It's then Donker. And then infield to Cash, then back to Konza. And again, Forrest happy to sit off, happy to flex into almost a back 5 now with Gibbs White on the left-hand side and Toffolo tucked in next to the 2 centre-halves. It's played out wide towards the right. Then Donker looking to exploit space. Matt Cash travels infield, watched by Gibbs White. Looks for the return. There's a block off by Freuler. It's going to be a free kick, 4 yards outside the box, right of centre. Currently Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1, and for the latest odds you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Nottingham Forest to win at 11-2, a Villa win is 12-5, 13-8 on the draw. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus, speedgambleaware.org, play at ladbrokes.com.
Sometimes I get frustrated because of the lack of urgency, so 1-1 isn't for me for either team. When you 15 minutes to go, it's pass, it's go and win the game. Someone take some responsibility and try and make something happen.
Well, maybe Emi Buendia will take a bit of responsibility here. He has
I'm surprised.
Been bright.
He has been bright. I'm surprised Douglas Luiz. He took one and got a ray in the first half, I think it was. And he is the set piece guy. Why he's not demanding it, I'm not too sure.
Well, Buendia scored an 86th minute winner against Everton earlier in the season. And we're just about to tip over into 80 minutes played here. Aston Villa have put a decoy wall in front of a 4-man Nottingham Forest wall. It's at about a 50-degree angle to the goal, this free kick, right side. It's Buendia into the wall, and then it bounces out on the edge of the box. There's a foul and a free kick to Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest get away with it.
I'm not really sure what he was trying, because it was a straight run-up, whether he was trying the wobbler, call him the wobble ball, where you try and send it all over the place in a straight line. Nah, I don't know what he's thinking there.
Ramsey off and Cameron Archer on, and you could hear that cheer in the background from the Aston Villa fans for the introduction of the 20-year-old, looking to score his first goal of the season. He goes up front alongside Ings. Watkins has gone out towards the far side, the left now. And he's got the ball, and Archer is speeding through the centre, and Watkins couldn't get hold of the ball. He's got it back again. Freuler's come across to make sure he doesn't go any further, and there's engagement over on that far side from Archer, and the ball goes out of play and away for an Aston Villa throw. Level with the edge of the Forest penalty area, going into the last 10 minutes of the game. I think there's been a little bit more about Aston Villa in the match, and if anyone deserves to win it, it's probably them.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree with that.
But they've been in situations like this, Danny, for a while now, where the Aston Villa fans are a little bit disappointed that a team with Ings, Coutinho, Buendia, Watkins available to them just don't score enough goals. Surridge looking to fly that ball forward to Brennan Johnson. Didn't quite work out first time, but Williams has charged forward right side. Douglas Luiz has prevented him from going any further. It has been frustrating for both teams in the match as the ball is played out towards the left by Aston Villa. They take it on into Forest territory. That was a real silly block over on the far side, and is going to result in a yellow card for Ryan Yates, who went across and just clattered into Ollie Watkins. Yellow card.
He's lucky he didn't have a yellow before with the Ramsey incident. Got away with it.
It was a an arm up as well into the face, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't quite an elbow, but it was not an attractive challenge, that, was it?
No. They've been resilient, Forest. They have done better than last week in terms of shape, patience with their defending. But they've certainly lacked inventiveness, they've lacked creativity. I don't know if they've had a shot of this, I don't know.
It certainly haven't been too much for Emi Martinez to worry about. He did make a save from the edge of the penalty area from Kouyaté.
Yes, he did, yeah.
1-1 the score, 7 minutes to go. Ball delivered towards the far post. Archer is there. He headed the ball backwards rather than forwards, and it's cleared away. Well, if he had went towards goal, there was problems for Dean Henderson. He pulled it back across the face of goal looking for a teammate. I don't think he realised how close he was to goal. It was a good delivery.
It was a good free kick, worked it, outnumbered round the back. He's in. Why is he not heading it at the goal? Unless he didn't mean to, and it's come off the side of his head, which can happen sometimes. You'd think with his striking instinct he'd want to go for the goal there.
Aston Villa with another chance that hasn't come off for them. Buendia travels forward, socks pulled right up to his knees and folded over at the top, plays it out towards the right. Dendoncker delivers a decent ball in towards the far post. It's headed away by Cook, bounces on the edge of the box. Young goes to hit it. There's already a foul called by Anthony Taylor, and that whistle's getting well used tonight.
Oh my days. Every time a player goes over elaborately, he blows the whistle, both sides. This is the opportunity now. It's a free kick. I think it's Luis to the back. I'm not sure.
Well, you're watching the replay of the incident that Cameron Archer had.
I think he's misheaded it. I don't think he's meant to head it back across. I think he's just not got the bearing. He's not got his bearings.
Forest have cleared and he's gone straight out of play. It's just the second half has sort of descended into that a little bit. Nottingham Forest been very frustrating in the second half, haven't really got going, and certainly the second 45 has belonged more to Aston Villa than it has to the home team. But Steve Cooper will be just happy if his team can see this one through, maybe steal it at the end. They've had more shots on target than Villa in the match as a whole. Villa have only had 2, and one of those was the goal.
But they've had 12 shots to Forest 5, which gives you and 60% possession, which gives you a better indication. But most importantly, and
it tells you where the problems are as well.
Yeah, it does. They've got themselves, forget the shots on target, they've got themselves into some terrific areas to hurt Forest.
But have then let them off the hook. Travelling down the left touchline, Ashley Young is pushed to the floor. He wants a free kick. He's not going to get, and it's going to be a goal kick away to our right. 5 minutes to go. Remember, straight after we finished here on Game Night on Talk Sport, it's your chance to have your say on National Radio. Jason Cundy and Dean Saunders will do our best to bring you live reaction from both camps. 03717 22 33 44 is the number to call. You can get your call in, have your say on National Radio right now. After this, Villa have got Chelsea at home. Yeah. Fulham away. Surrey's trying to get in behind, but he's not going to reach that ball. Then Brentford at home. Next for Nottingham Forest, a trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers, then Brighton, then Liverpool. Then it gets really hard. Arsenal, Brentford,
I like that, Sam. They're going to Liverpool, then it gets hard. I wonder who you support.
I'm just playing with you. 86 gone. You're listening to Talk Sport. Danny Murphy and Sam Motherface at the City Ground. Playful as ever, Danny, tonight. He's had a hit list going this evening.
What do you mean?
Who are you picking on next?
Oh, no.
Here is Konza into the box. Out comes Henderson, grabs the ball from the sky, and it will be cleared away. I think the boss has said he's going to order you one of those smart speakers, by the way. It's coming your way.
Oh, that's very nice.
We'll teach you how to use it.
Well, you just shut bark orders at it, don't you? If that's the case, I'll be happy as a pig in mop.
You'll be as happy as Leander Dendoncker.
Yeah, I like that. Penny just dropped with that one.
Steve Cooper standing on the touchline, arms folded, watching on. Dane Murphy, the CEO, sitting high up in the stand. The driving force behind that new contract, I think. Ball cleared away, up towards the midpoint of the Forest half.
Yeah, probably. Wonder if he's in charge of recruitment as well, because there should be questions asked if so.
Oh, they've won the ball here in a good position, Nottingham Forest. It's forward by Morgan Gibbs-White up to Koyate. Space for Surridge, and now Gibbs-White's joining the attack again. He needs to feed Surridge once more. They travel down the left side. Koyate's been hurt by a challenge in the build-up to this. But it's picked up by Gibbs-White, and he gets to the edge of the penalty area. He tries to shoot. It's blocked the effort. He did have numbers in support, and it's given away. It's picked up by Watkins. Koyate, who wasn't hurt, then got up and then tried to challenge Cameron Archer as they lead a breakaway, Aston Villa. They get to the halfway line, over it, and then it's picked up by Archer once again. Then on to Buendia, plays it forward, blocked on the edge of the box by Nico Williams. Out to Archer again, steers it into the box. It's away by McKenna out to the far side. Archer wins the second ball. It bounces and he travels towards the corner flag. He looks to try and get the cross in. He can't do so, but he manages to steer it to Ashley Young. Young tries to dive in front of Williams. It's cleared away by Cook. Goes upfield. There's a bit of a wrestling match going on. Surridge is penalised on the halfway line.
Rightly so.
And it's going to be a free kick. But can we just have a quick chat about Cheku Koyate? He went down. I said he was hurt. He was on the floor writhing in pain. You said he's not. 3 seconds later, the ball broke down. It went the other end. He sprung up like a jack-in-the-box and tried to kick Cameron Archer off the pitch.
Well, it's called being very tired and looking to get some sympathy from the referee. And when they played the advantage, he was... What's the word?
Archer smart speaker.
Yeah, no, he was stuck, wasn't he? Because he couldn't get the free kick and he couldn't jump up because it would have looked bad. And then when he got skipped, when Villa broke, he must have thought, well, I might as well look bad and just get up anyway.
Lewis O'Brien about to come on for Steve Cooper's men. There's a free kick here. Again, Forest now keeping a really high line at about 12 yards outside the 18-yard box. Going to be taken by Ashley Young, who's played it square to Matt Cash. That line is still high. It's gone out towards the left-hand side. Headed by Watkins towards the box, but it's going to go straight out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick. That was another baffling set piece that didn't quite come off. Off comes Morgan Gibbs-White, and on comes O'Brien. Gibbs-White's been brilliant. Still waiting that first goal.
I wouldn't say he's been brilliant. I think he's been good second half compared to the first, and he's been Forest most likely.
He's definitely been their best player.
Yeah, which isn't saying much in terms of creativity, but he showed glimpses of his brilliance, would be a better way of describing it, in my humble opinion.
I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah,
thank you.
He's shown real good moments, he has. And what I like about him is that he's left his position to go and do that.
Yes.
He's tried to impact the game. When you finish a game of football, you want to look back and think, how did I impact the game? What did I do to try and impact that game? Did I take a risk? Did I try and get on the ball enough? Did I try and play enough forward passes? I'm talking if you're an attack-minded player.
Well, 7 of 8 of the 8 points that Villa have accumulated so far have come at Villa Park, so they'll be seeing this as a plus in one sense, but I think Steven Gerrard will believe he should have taken all 3.
I'd be fuming. I'd be absolutely fuming if I was Steven Gerrard and didn't win this game.
I think Nottingham Forest will be a little bit happier with their take home from this particular encounter. It's a good foothold for them. And Aston Villa's problems continue in front of goal. It's only 7 goals now that they've managed all season in the Premier League, and we're edging up towards this is nearly the end of the 9th game of the season. If you only scored 7 goals in 9 games, that's a bit of a worry.
Yeah.
The ball picked up by Buendia, trying to travel towards the touchline. There's a push and a shove from Yates, who goes down, wins the free kick. And I think Nottingham Forest are going to do their best just to see out the last few minutes of this game. Steven Gerrard just turns, looks to the floor, scuffs his foot on the AstroTurf down in front of us, and then picks up a bottle of water, takes a swig from it, and then we'll clear. Tough fixtures, I think, upcoming for Steven Gerrard. I mentioned earlier, they're all in the top half now, the teams that he's got to play.
Yeah, I think that's why this will be more disappointing for him, and also the positions they've got themselves in. They've got themselves in some really, really positive positions in forward areas, and they've just not been able to find that last bit of quality or composure. Good defending as well from Forest. Let's give them a bit of credit for their resilience, but lots of territory in good areas. That's going to be the disappointment when they watch the video back tomorrow or the day after. In fact, you could argue, and ironically, the players, the management, Stephen Gerrard, Gary McAllister, are two types of midfielders who would have found the space, would have found the pass, would have found the gaps.
Well, they're still looking for their first win away from home in the Premier League this season. Here is Koyate. Surridge was dragged back. There's a free kick here for Nottingham Forest.
I have to say, I think the ref's been awful.
I think he's usually one of the better referees that we've got, Anthony Taylor, but he has been a little bit whistle happy tonight. I don't think he's been helped by some of the flags and histrionics.
But you create the flow of the game by letting a few go, then you don't get the ones later. You know, you just let players are going down so easily because they know they know he's giving them. I mean, Yates in the corner then fell over when Buendia didn't put his hand on his back because he knew he was going to get the free kick. If he didn't give them early on, that's how you create the flow. I think he's been really poor in that.
Ball into the box is headed down by Cook, comes out on the edge of the area. It's struck by Brennan Johnson, but the full-time whistle has already gone, and that is the end of the encounter. Nottingham Forest have made their joint worst start to a Premier League season, but at least they have stopped the run of consecutive defeats. They did it with resilience and grit, not too much flair going forward. Finally, after 6 straight losses, Nottingham Forest put a point on the board. Emmanuel Dennis got them off to a really good start before Ashley Young equalised. All the goals coming in the first 45 minutes. Aston Villa's wait for a win on the road this season goes on. And unless they start scoring goals with a little bit more regularity, with the hurdles that are next for them to jump in the fixture list, there might be a little bit of a longer wait too. Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1.